All great artists draw from the same resource, the human heart, which tells us that we are all more alike than we are unalike. Maya Angelou. Hello and welcome everyone. I'd like to explore the idea of how we are alike and do have a lot of similarities. And today I was inspired by the works of Melissa Quigley. And so what I want to do is create an abstract here, and I'm using 20 by 20 canvas, 1.5 deep, and I'm going to do several pours, puddle pours, using satin enamels. So I have a satin enamel white that I mixed with Liquitex and GAC and water to get a thicker consistency on this. And then I have the satin enamel in black, and I mix that with the GAC, Liquitex, and water. So I want to go in and just begin some of my petal pours. I've put tape around the outer part, perimeter, so I'm hoping to contain most of the paint on the canvas until we're ready to release. How's everyone doing this morning? Afternoon? Hope everything is going well. I want to go here. And here. Just jiggling it a little bit. And here. Bring it around just to make it a little different. Melissa Quigley writes beautifully, actually, and her work really touches upon those issues that many would shy away from. And so my first reading by her was The Complexities of Love, and in that, a young man is struggling with finding his identity. And I won't go into much detail about that, but it's beautiful, it's tragic, but yet uplifting and inspiring, and does give one a sense that, you know, there are things that divide us, that make us unique, and that's actually a beautiful thing. And so I strongly recommend Complexities of Love by this really passionate author, award-winning author, Melissa Quigley. All right, I've put this down. I want to switch off my gloves. And the puddles are a little bit different and yet the same. The white and the black interplaying off of one another. Some have created these jagged striations, almost diamond shaped on the outer part, with just moving out in geometrical formation. They're very pretty. A little bit more muted on the outer part here, but I love what it's doing. Similarities and difference, alike and yet different and unique and special. Each one of my 5 pours. There's another book that is more current that I have read by Melissa Quigley, and that is Bereft. And we all grow up, I suppose, with values that are imparted by our parents, expectations, those cultural norms, things they wish for you, want for you. But there comes a time where you separate, and that is where love, not just your independence, but love kicks in, and you want to follow your heart. You don't want to disrespect your elders, but there comes a point where that compassionate part, or the idea that love does not have a color to it and it's boundless. And so in bereft again, Melissa Quigley just explores that, and it addresses and encompasses the interracial relationship, the bigotry, the love, the loss, the sense of hopelessness and helplessness, and why can't other people see what I see? So we followed the lives of these two young people, you know, trying to break free from those prejudices and the hate and the bigotry that sometimes lies underneath, and sadly sometimes is right up there in your face. But will love conquer all? Is there a place where there is complete acceptance of our identity, our individuality, no matter, the colors of our skins, the tones of our skins? And so I've got a black and white puddle going on here. And I could deconstruct and tilt it and just leave it as it is. But so inspired by Melissa Quigley's works, in addition to that, she writes poetry each and every day, sometimes many times a day, on Twitter. So if you have the opportunity, or X as it is now, if you have the opportunity to follow her there, please do so. She's a very inspiring author and poet. What I want to do is introduce colors into this black and white. And why? Because, as I said before, the colors of our world are what make us one big, beautiful, and hopefully all encompassing, welcoming, thriving, compassionate, understanding, accepting universe or society. All right, I don't want to get on a bandwagon, but I was just so moved, as I said, by Melissa Quigley's works. In addition to that, what I want to do is I want to go in with a metallic light green. I'm also going to introduce a peachy orange color. Just take you through some of this. I get overly excited. This novel rose romance in a metallic color, and these are deco art. I'm using this aquamarine seafoam metallic. I'll be using a purple metallic as well by Deco Art, forest green by Deco Art, metallic, and then a darker shade of blue, and my Arteza yellow. So I want to actually create puddles, not so much in the center, maybe a little off, and just kind of splatter them and deconstruct it by running probably the palette knife through it. We'll see. All right. Again, do pick up her works, Complexities of Love, Bereft. She also has another book. It's a creative workbook with 100 nature writing prompts in there. So I highly recommend that to teenagers, parents, teachers. I think would really appreciate this. Having taught language arts at one point in an inner city school, those writing prompts each and every day, the students were to write in their journals. And so sometimes you get creative, by providing them with something that they can write about. I often use music when I introduced a writing assignment, when it was time for them to do their journal writing. I think I'm going to go on the perimeter of this for now, or on the diameter of my puddles. And so I would, my phone is ringing, of course. Hubby will get it. Um, and so I would use music oftentimes to kind of get them going. I would introduce the song and have it, have them respond to it, go with their feeling, as it were. But in Melissa Quigley's writing prompt book, it's there. So if you're stuck, writer's block, or just looking for another idea um, of things that you'd like to write about, but you're not sure what, I urge you to grab that one up by Melissa Quigley, 100 Writing Prompts. And the beauty of it is it also has some visuals, some images, some pictures. So those add to, the draw of writing with purpose. And I always believe that. I think I want to go in with my peachy orange color. It's quite pretty. I'm going to put it next to the blue. I don't know. It's just taking me different places this morning, so I thought I would play with this puddle idea, but maybe kick it up a notch. If you're inspired by anything, and even if you're not, sometimes just looking out into the world at things the way they are, sometimes those in themselves provide us with inspiration. All right, I want to go in with my darker blue. Place it here. No rhyme or reason really to this. The metallic paints are a little thinner than what's inside, the black and the white. So I'm hoping it works out. With the puddle pours, or a ring pour, it's kind of a mock ring pour here. A true ring pour would have more of a cloudy effect of that white. I didn't want that. I'm going for a different idea here. Again, inspired by Melissa Quigley's work. All right, I want to go in with my romance novel red. It's beautiful. It's like a cross between a mauve and a crimson. Has a very distinct color to it, so it is deep mauve, I suppose. All right, I think I know it's on here, so let's go here. We'll see how it works. My inspiring muse this morning, my inspiring author, award-winning Melissa Quigley. Do follow her on X if you need some motivation, ideas about what journey you'd like to take. All right, I want to make sure that I have all my colors in here. I actually think I need my deep forest color. I'm hoping the metallics will really pop against that black and puddle of the white. We'll see. I did not prime the canvas, add any additional paint to it, so hoping that works out. I'm going to put some in here. All right, let me just step back and see. I think we're going to go in here. We're going to need a little more paint. So I'm going to go with my red. Beautiful mauvey, glossy. I'm going to go with my little green I think I will put out here. And then out here. And I want to go in with my peach again. And break this up right here. How's everyone doing? Plans for the weekend? If you're in the warmer climate, get out there and enjoy bike riding, skateboarding, walking, running, jogging, all of the above in combination and a tandem. Enjoy. All right, let's go in with the blue. And again, as I said, I just inspired and I decided to bring some beautiful colors or celebrate differences in the colors of our world. All right, I'm going to go in here. And let's see. I just step back. I think purple I did not introduce earlier. So let's introduce it now. Right there, my metallic purple. It's very vibrant, rich. Something quite soothing, engaging, thought-provoking, actually, like Melissa Quigley's novels, by that interplay of white on the black. And here it's the same, so the white is peeking through. And I'm hoping that as this continues to develop and we deconstruct it, we'll have a more harmonious feel to this piece. All right, we'll see. I'm going to add purple here just because. And here, where I did not add it previously, let's see. I think I want to put it out here, as many as I can, using up my paint. All right. It had been sitting around for a while, so some of it had thickened, and I added water, and obviously you can do that because the paint actually works better in terms of the types of pours you're doing. If you do mix it ahead of time, cover it or put it inside the bottles that have the caps and keep them moist or fluid. I do want to go in here actually, and I think, and looking at it, I think I'm going to go in with this seafoam aquamarine blue to play against that white. All right, let's see. I'm actually going to add some here. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of letting it just go and do its thing. Just pure love, you know, those colors flowing one into the other. And so we wonder and bereft, you know, if this young couple is going to be able to be a unit, or if the wills of their parent and the beliefs and the hatred is all I can come away with will win over, you know, what their wishes are. And they've known each other for a while, having met on the beach, and you know, just caring deeply for one another. A love that, you know, doesn't really have a color. As I said before, love doesn't have a color. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow here, or at least it shouldn't, don't you think? I hope life treats you well. All right, what I want to do is just surround this with a black that I had mixed with water. I did not put any GAC in this one. This one is just a plain black with water. So as I combine and deconstruct this composition inspired by Melissa Quigley's work, or works, I'm hoping that the interplay will work out. I will be deconstructing it. Sometimes you have to think out of the box, and you have to incorporate and cross over those boundaries or those barriers or those invisible expectations, well, voiced expectations, but that invisible, intangible sometimes, and sometimes not so intangible, hate that sometimes blinds us. I don't know. I just moved this morning or afternoon, as it's gotten to be afternoon actually already. Just bringing it out, and I want to just torch it a little bit. And the colors seem like, oh my goodness, what's going on there? They're so busy. They are. I want to bring I don't know, just some joy and love as I create this. I want to pop some bubbles. There are quite a few. Tiny little cell formations are starting to peek through, and that's expected. All right, I want to go in and deconstruct this just by running a skewer, a little tiny skewer through it. And I'm going to go in on the diagonal first, so those colors will perform a happy dance. Collective, joining, love, and harmony. And it doesn't seem very harmonious sometimes. If you're looking at the canvas, they're like, what? But it is. It is. I'm reminded by, just kind of sit and think on things for a while. Let them percolate. I'm reminded of, and I think I've mentioned it in one of my earlier videos, because I loved A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. And in that, I don't know if many of you have seen it, the play by Lorraine Hansberry has been turned into several movie renditions. My favorite is with Sidney Poitier. And it was set back in the 60s, where you had that racial divide. And in Bereft, it takes place in the 70s. And believe it or not, those racial tensions, sadly, were alive and well back then. And hopefully we are, I believe we are, becoming softer, gentler, more understanding, compassionate, loving society. But in A Raisin in the Sun, family Unger is waiting for their inheritance because their dad, or Walter Lee Unger's dad, had passed away. He had worked for the railroad, and when he passed, the family would be getting a substantial amount from his life insurance, what have you. And so they were waiting and eagerly anticipating, and Walter Lee has these high hopes and dreams of opening up a bar, and his mom is totally against it. All right, I'm going to go opposite. Is against this idea of a bar because she believes it's evil and it breeds evil, and she's not fond of, giving Walter Lee any money. And so Walter Lee, much like some of the topics, the issue of identity and struggling with identity and acceptance in Melissa Quigley's novel, The Complexities of Love, Walter Lee can't seem to break away and, be considered the man, as it were, the head of the house. It's always been mom, or so he thought. So the family, his mom is against this idea, his dream of opening up a bar. Anyway, they finally, his mom does give him some of the money and asks him to save some, and she's buying a home. Well, she's buying a home in Bryant Park. Suffice it to say, it's not a welcoming community. And I won't take you to all that happens as a result of the purchase that Mom has decided to make in Bryant Park. Langston Hughes in that, if I can paraphrase the poem that actually starts the play by Lorraine Hansberry, A Raisin in the Sun. What happens to a raisin in the sun? Does it flourish and expand, or does it wither up and die? In essence, is what Langston Hughes was saying. And in Bereft, it's not so much of the dream that that young couple wants, but just an understanding of what their love is and how connected this young couple is, and you know, their wishes, their dreams to be together and be united and be one. And what happens to that dream in Bereft? Please pick up Melissa Quigley's novel and find out for yourself. Just kind of going through some of it a little bit more to integrate some of that yellow and bring it through. And I think as we stretch it, it will be even more integrated and just more beautiful. I want to step back and just take a moment to think what we started with on this canvas, that black and that white, and just step back and look at it now. All right, I want to pop some bubbles. And just stretch it out. I'll bring it toward you. I'm going to go to the side. I don't want to lose too much of those beautiful colors into playing with that. Bring it there. Try to find the weight of my paint. By putting the tape around it, I was hoping to maintain the composition, the integrity of the colors on the canvas before releasing the paint and letting it do what it's going to do. I chose to do it this way. Plus, I didn't use quite as much paint as I would have. All right, so notice what's going on here. Bring it back that way. I'm going to try to center that composition to the center, but I don't want to go over. There will be some negative space, but I think as it dries, we're going to have some real wispy, feathery fingerling kind of things going on the edges. I'm just kind of bringing it in because I want to see what we can salvage in terms of what my runoff will be once I take that tape off. So let me bring it here and get my cups underneath. Try to get it to stay. And I'm going to move this. Excuse me for a moment. Tidying up and moving it away so when I tilt, I have a clearer work area. All right, I do want to torch some more bubbles. I do see some here. Bubbles are popping away, but they're also, you know, as that happens, they're releasing some of the paint that sank to the bottom, and those colors will continue to seep up or come up during the drying process, so there'll be even more. There's some beautiful boulders going on here, and there's a muted sort of combination of that peachy gold and blue that is playing nicely with the other colors. I want to take the tape off and have that paint come off to the sides. Okay, put that there for now, or maybe not. I'll move it over here with the others. Just wipe off my hands. All right. I do need to tilt it just a little bit because I want some of that paint to come off the sides. Try to get to my corner. Bring it back because I do not want to lose that. And I'm going to go to this side, and my cup is hanging out on the edge. Let's bring this here. That metallic blue is very pretty. I know I need to touch up the sides, and it will continue to do its magic. But what I'm seeing now is also some lacing. By stretching it out, it created some real beautiful lacing in the work. And that's the GAC that I used in the satin enamel. It worked to create, help generate some of those, some of that lacing effect. It's actually really pretty as it continues to flow. I'm not going to touch the underside because I want it to continue doing its thing in here. But I do want to turn it so that you can see what's going on. Excuse me. I don't mean to turn my back to you, but I wanted you to catch what's going on along the outer edge of this. I thank Melissa Quigley for her inspiration this morning. And I hope you enjoy your day. And in the meantime, remember, as the rain falls, so does your love. Bathe every open object of the world. William Carlos Williams. Be good to one another and yourself. Thank you.